Now we have used different types of blocks and function blocks, and the one block remaining is the type conversion block. I will show that in this film, and the film also contains an example in codices of type conversion. In the previous film, I showed the data types we can use. This is a list of some data types, there are more. The data type we have used the most in these films is the bool. It's true or false, and it only uses 1 bit in the memory. But we have also counted the number of pulses, for example. Then we needed to have an integer, a number without any decimals. Then we can use the int, 16 bits. Then we have both negative and positive numbers. If we want to have higher numbers, we can use the dint, the double int. It uses 32 bits in the memory, and we can show higher numbers. Sometimes we want to use only positive numbers, and we can use word or the variable type unsigned int. Here as well we can use more bits. The time type we have used in the timers. We can also have a real number, a decimal number in the data type real. It uses 32 bits in the memory. But sometimes we use more than one data type and we need to use them together in some way. And then type conversion might be needed. One example when type conversion is needed is when we have a bool that we want to add to an int. The value of a bool is true or false, and true cannot be added to a number. For example, we can't add true to 5. If we want to do that, we need to convert the Boolean variable to an integer. We can do that by using the block bool to int from bool underscore to underscore int. Then the true value of the bool will become 1 as an integer, and we can add it to 5. And in the same way, the value false will become 0. All other type conversion blocks are named in the same way. The type we wanted to convert from, underscore, to, underscore, and the type we want to convert to. For example, word to int. But when we make the conversion, we need to be a bit careful. What will happen with the number? Can the value we had be displayed in the new data type? I will show one example of type conversion, and it uses the bool to int type conversion. We have a value of 4 bits that is read from 4 digital inputs, which means that our input is of data type bool. Those 4 bits, I call them bits 0 to bit 3, should be converted into the integer variable value, showing the value of this 4-bit number. I will start codices and try this example. Here is my global variable list of the 4 bits that we have on the digital inputs, our physical inputs, and here is my local variable value that I want to read from those 4 bits. The value will be read as binary code, where bit 0 is multiplied by 1, bit 1 is multiplied by 2, 4, 8, and the results are added to become our value. Which means that I want to have the add block. The add block is over here. I have 2 inputs and 3 inputs. I need to add 4 variables together. That's not a problem. I take one of them, 3. I drop it in my program. I use my right mouse button and click on the add block and choose append input. Now I have 4. The result here will become a value. I can right click, insert assignment, and write value. And here we wanted to add the bits multiplied by their position. Bit 0 should be multiplied by 1. Bit 1 should be multiplied by 2, which means that I need a multiplication block here. Drag it, drop it, multiply by 2. Then I want to use the multiplication for these 2 as well. I can copy and paste it. This should be bit 2 multiplied by 4 and bit 3 multiplied by 8. Now we can see that Codesys does not like this at all. When I hover over this red underscore here, it says cannot convert type bool to type USInt. That's an unsigned int. That's the guess that Codesys gave. that we want it to have. We cannot use a bool to add to something. We need to use type conversion block first. I drag an empty box here and write the name of the type conversion I want to use. Bool to int. Now the extra inputs and outputs disappeared, and we see that we don't need a name for this one. Now it's okay. It's a bool, and here it should be an int, and this is an int. And I will use the same block for the rest of the bits as well. Now the arrows have disappeared, and we can log in to test it. I have to start the simulation mode first, online simulation, and log in. And I start my simulation, and we see that everything is initiated to false. The value of 4 false bits will become 0. If I set bit 0 to true, hopefully I will get 1. There it is. I use bit 2. That is multiplied by 4. Added to the one here. That should become 5. This seems to work. I will log out and try 2 more type conversion examples. As I said, we can use word to int, for example. I will try that in a new network here. I drag in an empty box and use word to int, where I use a variable of type word, and it should be of type word. I just put it in my local variable list now. And I want to convert back again into word, just to try it. Where I made a new network where I have the integer which I want to convert to word. I haven't put anything on the output here because I only want to monitor what is happening. I'm not going to use the value. I log in. Now we can focus on these ones. If I start with the value word of 10, I write it, Control F7, the int becomes 10, no problem. But if we go back to the list here, we can see that a word can use up to 65,000 and an int only up to 32,700, because this one is using the negative numbers as well. So what will happen if I use 50,000? I'll try that. Hit OK, Control F7. Now I have a negative number here. That is because the most significant bit in the int representation represents plus or minus the sign, while here it just uses that one to represent a higher number. And the same goes the other way around, of course. If I use the number -1 here, I write it, then I got a really high number here, the highest I can get. So if you want to convert an integer to word, that is fully doable. I can use 5 here and get 5. But if you want to make the conversion, always make sure that the number you put in is not negative. It should always be positive or 0. And here we need to make sure that the number is not higher than the highest value that I can show in the new data type. Always make sure that the number that you are converting will fit in your new data type.